Abusia ya mama kwa abasronko so eba POG Media so me sure safe na abaso a obe like no wa subscribe na afi so atima share dwumadi no ama afoforo so ensa atumi aka ensem ekoso my Ghana mo ayen so ya jepeni ese brane no ye bemi abedwafo ahunu de eko ene de eba na de ensem ene ekoso highway ni so eye Dr. Mahama Bawumia ne running mate ai friend eye Matthew opoku prempe dodo na nim se efe no NAPO and access wakwa landing himself into a serious trouble eja eguna putima ehye no enye eja ketwa na nyina ne se wakwa accuse NDC amayokuo no of killing some senior pastors obo mudin se efre omo eye odifo asare brother amo akona chese na nadrobo a o chese ono NAPO no owo evidence chese NDC amayokuo no na yeden ekum da pastors yeden efri atiasefo asase so we NDC 40 da asemu na mse da bi asemu da NAPO ebra court na oba be yi ne ho anu achese NDC de asem na kwakodan eye Supreme Court a omo chese baby a NAPO hu se omo kum da pastors NAPO emra na omra be yi ne ho anu a chese court nso a issue letter ma eye Matthew opoku prembe se omra mepiem wo court na baby ohu se NDC fo na ekum da asofofo mpanyinfo yi omra embeyi ne ho anu a abusua highway ne so aye gidigidi na eye Johnny Hughes de insem no munchemu abre ya mepesa abedwafo ba mi akone akwakotie na ansa na ye bekono mesho so wonsem kae bia ode be hye ye comment section wo be like no subscribe na afi so watimi a hye dwumadi no ama afoforo nso nsa atumi aka medamasi
Dr. Ankara, Dr. Bawumia, John Dramani Mahama, Lankuju Tremantin, Hassan Ayariga, my good friend, the independent Kofi, and then also Kofi Akpalu, and then also Kwabe Bediakun. Cheddar yesterday he spoke. And Cheddar yesterday said something that I think should stick with all of us. His was not the Yetisikasu accommodating. No, because now Yetisikasu but accommodating. But his was, we are sitting on gold, and yet we're looking for money. That yesterday struck me. Perhaps that was the only thing that struck me. But he says, we are sitting on gold and looking for money. These 8 people, very soon we'll have different authorities come to them to say, go and sign a peace pact. That's what we have seen started already. If they all go and pick up their forms and the Electoral Commission doesn't disqualify them, already Movement for Change are complaining that they also deserve to have a copy of the register, and rightly so. Because when they fill the form, people have been disqualified in this country because they were told that, oh, the people who endorsed your forms were not qualified. Oh, it's happened before. Go back to the history and check. The last election, the last 2 elections, happened before. So these 8 people, put the picture up there, please. These 8 people aspiring to lead the country. I'm going to play a series of videos for you. And usually we say, oh, the thing is between NDC and MPP. Now, the Movement for Change people say, oh, then it's between Alan Tremantin and John Dramani Mahama, because as for Dr. Bawumia, he has messed up his case. Politicians can say and do anything. But it is the consequence of their actions that actually come to bite us. The consequence of their actions that come to bite us if we decide to shut up and keep quiet. Here's the running mate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe. You see, people say Dr. Opoku Prempe is arrogant. People say he doesn't know how to speak publicly. People say he has been well trained. The other time I saw a Queen Mother hold a press conference to say, oh, hey, your confidence is being misconstrued as arrogance. He himself has had cause to say that, oh, in Ghana, when you speak the truth, they say you are arrogant, you are this, you are that. Later, he came to apologize for it and all of that. But he made certain comments over the weekend. Listen to him.
No why then? What could them? Obese hospital, no obese mochi. Open hospital and upper mochi. Open hospital and upper mochi. Obama school, Obama school and Obama school and Obama Open Canada and Apple Soon. Open Canada and Apple Soon. Open MPP and NDC. Open MPP and NDC. Open Bawumia.
It's okay for the running mate to say, oh, pay NDC and now pay MPP. Oh, pay way and now pay way. It's okay. But when you now come to the subject matter of, I know who killed who, there's a problem. And I made an earlier statement that you can say what you want to say. It is the consequence of what you say on the people that matters. And I hope the national security listened. I hope the National Peace Council listened. I hope the eminent people in society, I hope they listen. I hope our councillors, I hope they are listening. I hope all the people who later come to say, oh, let bygones be bygones, let everything, I hope they listened. He's talking about the fact that it is only the NDC that killed pastors, right? Somebody who developed an HIV medication that they killed them, and so literally saying that they will kill people if you elect them into office. And people in Zongos, if you vote for us, NDC will come, they will, demolish this and give you a mortuary, they will not give you a hospital, all of that. But I don't have too much time. Now, I'm saying that it is the consequence of what people say. I showed you 8 people. The 8 people will take a cue, or the other 6 will take a cue from what the top 2 will be doing. I'm sure that if I stood here today and said that I know who killed Ahmed Swale, who died under Nanado's watch while under witness protection, I'm sure the police would invite me. I'm sure that if I go on and mention that I know who killed Reverend Nyabemado of the Assemblies of God Church, who died under this regime, I would be called to come and answer. I know that if I say, oh, the late Kwanzaa MP for Infantsman, I know who killed him, I would be called to answer. I know that if I say, oh, I know who killed JB Danko Edu under the erstwhile administration, Mahama administration, I'll be called to answer. I know if I mention that I know who killed Fene Kotri, I'll be called to answer. And many other names. Roger Komsing, Openyinga, that they named them. So many names. So now if somebody says that, oh, for example, 2 people who died, one I understand in 82, one in 1990. That was a military era. Are we comparing a military era to a democratic era? What happens to President Akuffo's 2001 National Reconciliation Commission led by the Venerable Justice Amoah Sechi and the late Mulvey Wahab and Professor Henrietta Mensah Busu, Archbishop Palmer Buckle, all General Eskin? There was a whole panel that was televised. What happens to what they said to the nation after their work? And President Akufo knew that people had that pain in them. So he set up that for people to let out their pain and anger. Even now, we have not been able to properly compensate the people as recommended by that commission. Is this the time now to start talking about some of these things when people are crying about bread and butter issues? So if people also start mentioning names, will we be able to sit around the table to have peace? Is this even a responsible response to the demand for the lives of the 8 people who died in the last election, in spite of the fact that a peace pact was signed, and yet 8 people died? Al Jazeera called it a bloody election. BBC covered it, CNN covered it, VOA covered it. Check the international portal, they all covered it. Thus far, the President of the Republic, Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, the man who swore to defend and protect all of us, has not said a word about it. If people are asking for a response and as to why the President has not said a word about it, is this a responsible response? Is this care? Is this a responsible response? Let me take you back to Parliament. The first Deputy Speaker, Joseph, was MP for Ashanti Bekwai. this matter was put before him. Listen to his response. He's a lawyer, by the way, but listen to his response.
Lives in the Techiman South constituency.
I think that it is not fair for people to refer to an event without going back. What happened? Should the president just talk about if a criminal is shot?
The best in the morning is on
92.7
Sunrise on 3FM.
What happened? The president should stay out. Let the investigative people determine.
Abusia intin semnemu bi ene kokotie na ate se top NDC gurus no bi omania brigidigidi omo che se omo bema NAPO ededa asemwe aye esuade esan se NAPO kogina platform bi aso a sebi ensema ensem bi ebefiri nanum ababia na oyede o ka ensem no nso nya ato abonten a sebio ebon kakan kan te se ejanan a che se NDC for na che se NAPO entimi anko che court baby a ohun se NDC foi ekum da senior pastors idia ombe jeli NAPO chese ombe jeli NAPO ebeku prisoner or the dad in be yesua the next time or kasa sebi obedwenu wa chese ensem a omode to aso no na ensem nimu edu pa intime pesa bedwa for mo sabemi akoni asakoti ensem a eye Johnny Hughes ede to aso.
What happened? But I think it's not fair to insist that because somebody died, even if he was in the process of committing a crime, it becomes an issue. No, I beg to differ.
Not even commiserations to the families?
Hello? Do we commiserate with the families of armed robbers we shoot?
Are the people who died armed robbers or are they criminal?
Crime? Were they in the process of committing a crime? Let's determine that. These are thinking of any victim of any victim attracts our sympathy. I don't support that. If I am wrongly killed, I deserve sympathy. But if I am shot in the process of preventing a crime,
Sunrise on 3FM.
From your own estimations, these ones are not determined.
Okay, we haven't determined that. That's why that should not be our process. Our process now, our focus now should what happened. Nobody's talking about what happened.
Were you a bit disappointed that the president did not even speak at all about the people who lost their lives in the Techiman South constituency?
I think that it is not fair for people to refer to an event without going back. What happened?
What happened? Have our police been able to tell us? So will it be fair to make prejudicial comments? What happened? And what has happened since then? And if we're asking people to get round the table, why are we asking them to get round the table if the issues remain unanswered? You see why I mentioned that politicians can say anything, but the consequence of what they say will come back to bite. Now the NDC is putting its cards down. This is what we agreed in the past. We have not been able to achieve it. So go and do it and come back. Peace Council says, oh, let bygones be bygones. And then the question that the families are asking is that you have killed my people. You have killed my children. You see, I should let bygones be bygones. Bring your children, let me kill them too, so that bygones can be bygones. There cannot be peace without justice. Is that not what the Rastafarians say? Is that not what the Rastafarians say? Now, in the midst of all this, while we are trying to solve and talk about it, the youth leader of the party in power, that must show the shining example first. The shining example because the party in power holds authority. The party in power is the one who has the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, the chairman of the police council, the chairman of the military council, the chairman of this, the chairman of this, national security coordinator. Everybody answers to the leader of that party. And so they must show the shining example and show the way so that the other seven will follow, as I mentioned earlier from the beginning. What way are they showing? Listen to my own brother Salam. Listen to him.
I'm also telling them the NPP would not sacrifice this election on the altar of peace. I said the NPP will not sacrifice power on the altar of peace. We will not do it. We will not submit. We will not be cowed. We will not be intimidated. We will not be pushed. Models where they are natural models. And so we don't play any role. If the NDC believe they are more stronger than us, they should dare us in this election, and they will see that remember our hope. We are for peace. We like peace. We are for the progress of this country. But we will not be pushed out by any form of tactics. We are Ghana for Omugotu Abba Emma MPPR. The MPP, by the grace of God, inshallah, will continue to be in office for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and for
So, we will not sacrifice this election on the altar of peace. Topic sentence. If you did secondary school English and topic sentence, we will not. And if you were a news editor, it will be a good caption. We will not sacrifice this election on the altar of peace. The Peace Council is asking for the elections to be sacrificed on the altar of peace. That let bygones be bygones. And if you know Salam, he's a very calm person. Salam is calm like a Kofi Tonto or calm like a Kofi Ameyao. Very calm gentleman. So you start thinking and wondering what would have pushed him to make such a statement. At this particular time when everybody is hoping and willing that we will all come to the center and think of Ghana first. And he was speaking to the young people of the party and even telling them of his muscles and the bones in it and how it will resist and all of that. Flip the coin. George Opareado, also Pablo, he also goes on to, and he also talks about muscles, blah, blah, blah. Then flip the coin. All the other youth organizers go on. Can we have peace in this country with this kind of attitude? And we are watching. Everybody is looking on. I say that the call for peace will be determined by the people who hold power because they will be the shining example. Listen to Apostle Abraham Lamte. He had a wise words to say about peace. Listen to him. Not come down to be the judge here. You will have to take the decision. After that launch of the Election Command Center here, I had a strange message from a friend of mine. And this friend of mine is also a trusted source. And he's around the passport office, the birth and death registry, you know, around that. You need one document to be able to achieve the other and all of the Ghana card. He's within that circle and he usually gives me very concrete information. So somebody passed me an information and I confirmed with him. And the information I got was that while people are busy saying all manner of things on the campaign platforms, their children, listen to me carefully, Gen Z and abled youth, their children, while they are saying all manner of things on the campaign platforms, their children are busy getting their birth certificates renewed because some of them, and even including sitting Ogboros, their birth certificates are still the old ones, the handwritten ones. They are busily converting them now. I say, quote me, there are people who are within the ages of 18, 19, 20, young people, who are sent with V8s where the engines are left on, with pressure calls that come through, just so they could get either the passport or the birth certificate done for them as soon as possible. They want to check out. No be so? Those who have gone there, because our eyes and ears are on the ground there, they know what I'm talking about. And yet they will encourage you to say and do all manner of things. And yet it's just an election. I say go to the birth and death registry. Check out the V8s. Check out those at the age of 18, 19, and 20 who come and wait there because their parents have asked them to come and wait there, including some senior persons in this society who still have the handwritten, handwritten birth certificate. They're trying to change them. Question is, why now? Why now? That's the question. Why now? And the pressure calls that come along, because we all know, we have been told that there's a process and it's been digitalized and you have to go through a certain timeline to be able to get it. We understand, we appreciate that. But now people have had to make pressure calls to get those things done for them. The question is, why now? So when you wake up, want to do giddy, pause and think. Does your parent have the wherewithal to make those calls, to put you in a V8 at age 19 or 18 or 20, maybe younger, to go and wait with the pressure calls to get that facility done for you? Can your parents or your forebears or your caretakers or whoever it is, guardians, have the money or afford the money to be able to get you on a plane to run away? Can they do that? Think.
It's a bushia willing summer, your brother Johnny Hughes said the Bawumia, what she say, politicians, say, you ra election year, Munasa Omunia platform, no, Naso Mo Kasa, Aya, Omunjai, a kumakum, and a wilkum way, and a wilkum way, Omunda dancing into Webby, not Neoma, a here, Ghana for. Mum and Omonka, Omu policy some bar, and as a new mom, my young person mutuasu, and mum and Omonka. By a quack, say Ghana politics, acquiesce, I say, NDC be attack MPP, and a MPP a kukumwe, and Omune Kumnipa say, not MPP for Swaba, and a Simes in the Kumwe, a bassa, and on a impuntu embre or mine. Inti, this is the high time I will say, a politicians in the Jada, Sebio, and Semuhunu, and a winner kukumwe, also mujai na pucha se sie die e wo se na poko pie mu court no ko chile se ene ohun se NDC fo no ekun asofufu wo Kumasi o ohun so o mu kuma mo Accra o onko chile a che se court e issue letter ama na po ejagu ni trima e hihye ni gidigidi nti abusua medamase se mo je pene mi ekotie ensema eye brother Johnny Hughes e de ba bedom ye no aha eye POG Media medamase.